If you're interested in learning to trade on Betfair, then visit the BetAngel Academy, where you have detailed, structured Betfair trading courses. Or why not visit our website where you can download a free trial of BetAngel Professional, but also visit the forum where you can get detailed images, examples, and downloadable files. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon if you want notification of new videos as they're released. So one of the features we've had in BetAngel for a while is it's been very easy to get you to find the market that you're looking for and stuff like that, but we've made it even easier and much more flexible, and we've introduced some new concepts as well. So let's have a look at that. It sounds a little bit boring, but you'll understand the potential as we head into it. So I'm going to go to the file area here and do select a market, and you'll see a familiar screen in front of you, which is the market selection screen. And from the screen you can navigate the same way you would do on Betfair. You can have a look at all of the available markets within the market, and you can also do some custom searching. So we can do Liverpool and match odds. Now you can already notice there's this concept called filter, which you've seen appear on the main screen here and on the search as well. We will come to that in a second. So you can see that doing some of these things it brings up a lot of flexibility in terms of the way that you use BetAngel, and you've got your quick picks and various settings that will allow you to decide how this particular area functions. Now what we're going to do here is go in and have a look at exactly what the filter is, because this is one of the key upgrades that we've done to BetAngel, and this will be applicable in the main application as well as Guardian, because obviously Guardian is a tool that pretty much works as a separate piece of software anyway. So what you will find is that what you see in the main application is replicated on Guardian. So to make life really easy for you, what we've done is given you the ability to have a range of examples as well. So if you can see here, if I click on the drop down menu, you can see there's a whole range of options available from within here. And the concept behind the filter is that most people, and we've gathered this from support and feedback that we've got from customers, most people tend to look for certain things repeatedly, and people are saying to us, well, what I really need is this, but it's never quite as simple as that, because what people need is this, subject to that, within this time frame, and they're not interested in those types of markets. So it was never as simple as just, it took a bit of time for people to find the markets they're interested in. The filter does that for you. So for example, if we look at the example of match odds cricket, you can see, there you go, it's beautifully presented for you. The date, the matches, and the types of matches as well. And if we look at golf, for example, we can see what golf is coming up. So instantly you've got all of that information in front of you. Or if we look at the greyhound racing for today, you can see that's all of the greyhound racing that we've got today. If we look at the Australian racing, you can see this is the Australian racing that is in front of us in the next, that is today, isn't it? Yeah. So you can see that all of these will allow you to do a range of different options. English Premier League, popular markets, or we can drill down and do tennis matches that are in play today. There's an infinite variety of things. So the example list here will allow you to find that information really quickly. But obviously what you're interested in as well is how does all of this work. So the filter you can see here, and you can also see we've got the filter here, and then you can search the filters effectively. But you'll also see this little icon here and on here as well, and the idea is that this brings up the filter mechanism, which is what we're going to have a look at next. So I've moved the market selection screen over to the right a little bit, and that is to give us space to bring up the filter editor. And to bring up the filter editor, all you need to do is click on this little icon here. Now this will bring up, you can see we're using the tennis in-play match odds filter at the moment, and this will allow me to talk you through how the filter was constructed. I'll talk you through a few bits and bobs up here. If we click up here, this will allow you to import or export a filter. So if you create a filter, or say you come onto the forum and you say, hey guys, I would really love a filter that does the following, we can advise that, upload it to the forum, and you can download and import it into BetAngel. Now we have included a range of filters inside the product already, but you've got the ability to import and export there as well. You can obviously save as, and here allow you to create a brand new filter. But what we're going to do, and what I suggest you do to familiarize yourself with the tool, is to actually look at the example filters we've got, and then you'll get a much better understanding of how each of them was constructed. But here you can see that we're looking at the tennis filter. We've called it a tennis as the filter, and we're looking at individual markets by event type. So you can see you can filter markets by start time, and you can filter them by event type. So if we scroll down the event list here, you will see all of the different types of events that Betfair have, and if we reach the bottom here, you will see tennis, next to surfing and volleyball, if you so wish to trade those markets. So you can then filter the markets by text, so you can insert conditions around the text of the type of market that you're looking at, by country, if you want to search by that bears relevance if you're doing certain things, which I'll show you in a second. And then you can actually filter them by market type, so you can see it's creating a hierarchy here of all of the different things that you want to look for. So if you want to look at game markets, if you want to look at certain types of markets, here we are looking at match odds, but we could be looking at number of sets, we could be looking at any single subset of any of those individual markets. And then it's filtering it by market level, and then it's basically saying show me the markets that are currently in play. So you can see there's a lot of flexibility in terms of the way that you're likely to search for stuff. But if you want to understand what you're specifically looking at, then we could, for example, go down any one of these. So if we look at soccer events with more than 50k matched, if we look at that one there, then you'll see that's what we've named it. We're filtering by event type soccer, because that's what it's called on the market tree. I know you'd like it to be football, some of you, but that's what it's called on the market tree. And then you can see we're doing filter by traded volume at event level. So we're saying traded volume must be at least that much within this particular market. And you can see that we've got none of the other filters present or ticked in this particular example. So you can see here the display style is a default market tree, or you can actually design a custom tree, and then you can see that basically it'll give you a preview of basically what you're expecting to get from there. So if we go over here and we select that one, then you can see that looks sort of like pretty plain vanilla, and you're going to have to search at a deeper level from within there. But if we look, for example, I'm just trying to think that how we could probably go a little bit deeper from within here. If we go into horse racing, UK and Ireland, then this will give you a view as to how that would look on this particular market, because there are some clever things that you can do. So if we do win in place today, can you see how it's arranged it in such a format that it says the time of the market, the actual market itself, and you can see then it goes win, place, win, place, win, place, win, place. So how do we do that? How do we get it to display information in that particular format? The trick for that comes to when you actually choose to display it, because if you don't use the default market tree, which is the bog standard Betfair exchange listing, then you can actually design what you want the output to look like. So you can see here we've got group by event type, which is horse racing, sort by name. You can auto expand it, and it's in bold text. We're not necessarily grouping it, and then we're sorting it by start time. And then we've got a secondary sort on there as well. And then we're actually, the prefix is basically what you're looking at here. So it's saying prefix it with time. So we're saying time, event, and then there's nothing thereafter. If we really wanted to, we could actually do some other thing and put data immediately after it, which would allow us to append stuff on the back end of that description. But you can basically see here that in fact what you've got here is a range of flexibility, not only in how you actually pull in those markets, but necessarily how you display them as well. But like I said, we've created some examples for you so that you can go in and modify them or create your own. You can even hide the examples that we've got here as well. So when you're happy with the way that you've constructed it, You can get rid of these examples or hide them. But yeah, we've done examples for cricket. You can see the way that the match odds is being displayed there. If we bring up the cricket markets, you can see we're searching for an event type called cricket. We're filtering the market by a markets type, and we're looking at match odds. And then what we're actually doing is displaying it with a custom tree design. So you can see the custom tree here is event and then the date and time. And there is like an almost infinite number of things that you can do in terms of the way that you want to pull in information. But the concept is that you can actually pull it in quickly and easily, so that you don't have to spend ages faffing about looking for stuff. It's just there immediately for you as soon as you arrive and start using BetAngel. So once you set it up once, you never have to set it up again. So it's saved me an immense amount of time in terms of looking for markets that I'm specifically interested in trading. And all of the examples on here, if I flick through them, you can see here we've got golf, cricket, greyhound racing, horse racing. And what we've done with the horse racing on the Australian stuff is we've excluded the harness racing, so you just get the bigger races. But you can see that we've got a number of different examples grouped in a number of different ways, but they're all there for you to be able to play around with, modify and save your own particular filters as we go into the markets. So yeah, incredibly flexible tool, and we've given you loads of examples so that you can start using it straight away. But the concept is that you can actually modify it so that everything that you need is going to be right in front of you with a couple of clicks. Now, of course, we couldn't put these features into the main product without putting them into Guardian as well. So you probably would have been familiar in the past when we had the racing options here, where you could just bring up today's racing and the greyhound markets. But of course, filters sort of demolish that, because you can now create exactly what you want. You're not limited to the quick pick options that we give you. So if you go to search now inside Guardian, you will find all of the filters there in the filter editor. So if I click on here and do the UK and Irish win markets, or maybe just the outright markets, then you can see I can bring them up in a flash. If I right click, I can select all markets and then just drop them into Guardian. So within a few seconds of firing up BetAngel, all of the markets that you want will be populated within Guardian. If you want to update the refresh rate, then that will obviously bring the markets in a little bit quicker. If I select all of those markets and remove them, you can do that in a flash. But basically you can see here all of those filters that you've created can be populated really easily. So if we want to look at the cricket, we can bring up the cricket here. If I just mark those using my mouse or keyboard, which is what I've just done, and then I click, hold down the click and then drag them into Guardian, and there they all are. And then I can sort them by volume if I want to, and so on. So you can see it makes it really, really, really easy to do all of the really interesting stuff that you so wish to do. Let's have a look and see what markets are in play on the tennis at the moment. These are all of the markets. So if I mark all of the markets in here, bring them into here, sort them by volume, there you go. You can see where all of the really interesting stuff's taking place at the moment. But can you see how quickly and easy it is? And of course, this filter that we're using here for the tennis is bringing up ATP, ITF and Challenger tennis. Maybe you just want a subset of that. Well, that's easy, just modify the filter. But if you're using automation or you're looking at many markets simultaneously, you would obviously tend to use Guardian, and therefore the filters work with inside Guardian as well and allow you to bring across and pull in markets in an absolute flash now. You don't have to spend hours looking for or bringing across markets that are of interest. Very simple to do, very easy to use. So yeah, that is a summary of the new filter editor that we have within BetAngel.